In this demonstration, we're going to learn how to work with storage volumes and convert them from FAT32 to NTFS on Windows. The primary tool for managing volumes and disks on Windows is the Disk Management tool. I've opened it up, and we can see the current configuration of these devices. We see that the system has 3 hard disks installed, labeled as disks 0, 1, and 2. Disk 0 has 3 partitions defined. One is for EFI booting, one is the C drive, and the last is the recovery partition. Notice that with disk 1 and 2, while they do have primary partitions defined on them that encompass the entire devices, there's no file system. They're online, meaning that the operating system is aware of them and that they're accessible, but they're labeled as unallocated. They have no drive letter assigned to them. If I navigate to File Explorer, this PC, I only see the C drive. For us to use disks 1 and 2, we have to prepare them first. The simplest way is to right-click a target device in Disk Management and then select New Simple Volume. This starts the New Simple Volume wizard, which walks you through the process of creating a new volume, including formatting and labeling it. I'll select Next and then leave the available space as the selected size and click Next. I'll change the assigned drive letter to F and click Next. I'm then prompted to decide whether to format the volume or not, which I need to do to use it. I'll leave the file system as the default setting, leave the allocation unit size as the default as well, and change the volume label to storage. I'll leave the quick format option selected and not include any compression, and then select Next. I then see a summary screen with all these selected items. Since it has things configured the way I want them, I'll click Finish for the process to be completed. Now, opening Windows Explorer, I see that I have an F drive listed under this PC. We've successfully prepared this device with Disk Management. Sometimes, though, you won't have the Disk Management tool available. You may not even have a graphical user interface. This usually only happens with Windows Server systems, so in situations like this, it's possible to prepare a disk for use with a tool named DiskPart. To see how this works, let's open a command prompt as an administrator. Despite the name, DiskPart does more than partition storage devices. The DiskPart tool allows you to change partition types and create, modify, or delete partitions, as well as assign drive letters and format volumes with file systems. As a command line tool, these functions happen inside of its own command prompt. Let's start with the list disk command. This prints out a list of all storage devices currently connected to the system. As you can see, we have 3 listed, just like what we saw with the Disk Management tool. We'll work with disk 2. From the prompt, I'll select disk 2. Next, I'll create the partition using the create partition primary command. I'll then assign the drive letter using assigned letter equals G. Lastly, let's format the partition with a file system. We'll use FAT32. The command to do that is format fs equals FAT32, label equals backup, quick. The file system is created, and Windows notifies me that the G drive is now available. Let's verify that by looking in Windows Explorer. Sure enough, G is now displayed. Another important tool for working with FAT32 file systems is the convert command. Although we could easily run a format command or use DiskPart to format an existing FAT32 volume as NTFS, if there's already data on the device, that data would be lost. The convert command allows you to change the file system on a volume while allowing the data to remain intact. Let's start by typing convert /? to get a look at the options we have available to us. There's an example of the syntax at the top. We want to change the G drive to NTFS from FAT32. I'll use the following command, convert G:/fs:/NTFS. Now I'm prompted to enter the volume label. Then the process will be complete. To verify that the conversion has happened, I'll open File Explorer, this PC, and right-click on the G drive and select Properties. And as you can see, the file system is listed as NTFS. That's it for this demonstration. In this demo, we talked about formatting and converting volumes. We first learned how to use the Disk Management utility to work with disks and partitions. Next, we explored the DiskPart command to define and format volumes from the command line. Then we learned how to use the convert command to convert a FAT32 volume to an NTFS volume.